Welcome back to Reflect Politics. There was a pretty tense exchange between Jasmine Crockett and Nancy Mace during a subcommittee hearing today. Jasmine Crockett was complaining that Nancy Mace wants to just bring up trans rights. Everything is about trans this, trans that for Nancy Mace because that's Nancy Mace's way of buttering her bread. That's her way of bringing in money to her campaign by trying to exploit trans people and their struggles and making it all about Nancy Mace and how they're infringing on her right to be secure in the congressional bathrooms, which is just utterly insane. We now have a representative who is openly trans, a woman who is a Democrat who was elected to the 119th Congress. And so, of course, Nancy Mace wanted to pass legislation that banned her from using the woman's bathroom. And Jasmine Crockett is going to let Nancy Mace know that that's exactly what she's doing. She's going to call her out for it. And Nancy Mace is going to lose it and actually threaten Jasmine Crockett, telling her that she can take it outside if she wants to.
To make it clear how many civil rights, it doesn't just boil down to one conversation, but I can see that somebody's campaign coffers really are struggling right now. So she gonna keep saying trans, trans, trans so that people will feel threatened. And child, listen, I want y'all to tell me whether or
Do
not.
not call me a child. I am no child.
I want
Don't
to
even
find
start.
out
I am a grown
which
woman.
of those
I am 47 years
emails
old. I have broken
actually
more
have.
glass ceilings than you
Chairman,
ever
I
will.
am reclaiming my
Let's go.
time.
You will not do that. I
Order.
am not a child.
I am
not a
reclaiming
child.
my time.
If you want to take it outside,
Mr. Chairman, the committee is not
Okay.
in order.
Order.
Point of order. Point of order.
Order. Chair recognizes Ms. Crockett.
No, point of order, Mr. Chairman.
State your point.
Is it allowed in the rules for a member to incite violence against another member? I mean, she wants to take it outside with.
Hey, I have the
Crockett.
First Amendment right too,
And
young
so
man. I have the
I'd like
First
those
Amendment
words
right.
to be
I'm not
taken
gonna be a
down.
child.
I
I'm
am
not gonna
moving
be
to have
called a
those
child
words
by
taken
any of
down.
you.
I believe it's against the rules to
Going
incite
outside doesn't
violence
incite
against
violence.
another
You have a
member of
conversation
Congress.
that isn't.
The committee will
interrupting this
suspend.
committee.
The member will state the words he wishes taken down.
Where she said that we can take it outside, which is direct violation against the rules, inciting violence against another member.
What rule? What rule? Cite the rule.
How does that incite violence?
Mr. Chairman, there are, if I might point out, Mr. Chairman, there are decorum rules in the House of Representatives.
And the two parliamentarians are discussing this right now. We'll suspend for a second. So the chair recognizes Ms. Crockett for the remainder of her 4 minutes that don't count towards the limit to debate. Then from there on, if there's further requests for debate, there'll be 7.5 minutes each time. Chair recognizes Ms. Crockett for her remaining 4 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so I just want to really quickly just kind of break this down. So she makes the threat, let's take this outside. And when Frost, who is the youngest Democratic representative, kind of interesting how he's the one who is making the point of order, saying, hey, you know, don't act like a child who act like a bully, right? Don't threaten members of our side. You know, I want her words taken down. And Nancy Mace is clearly out of her mind, clearly. And she first says, well, no, I have the First Amendment on my side, which is like, no, Nancy, you can't just say whatever you want to members of Congress. That's not how this works. And then, as you know, as soon as Frost really makes the point of order, Nancy Mace says, "Oh, well, you know, well, I mean, that wasn't really, that's not really a violent threat." So that was actually Lauren Boebert. We have like the trifecta of the dumbest Republican representatives here in this clip. That was Lauren Boebert saying, "Oh, well, she can take it outside to have a conversation." like totally trying to rewrite what had just happened in front of our eyes, right? And then that was Marjorie Taylor Greene responding to Frost's point of order, saying, cite the rule. And it's like, man, the rule is you don't incite violence against members of Congress. You don't do that in these committee hearings. Now, what's just insane about all of this is that Jasmine Crockett was talking for 5 or 6 minutes before this about the need to recognize civil rights in the country, because Republicans are trying to strip committees of honoring, respecting, and investigating civil rights in the country. Because if you look at the Republican Party as a bunch of white people, right? They don't care about diversity, right? I mean, just look at all their attacks on diversity and inclusion, right? The DEI. And so you would think, okay, like that's the end of it, right? Like that's what happened. You know, all of this is kind of just a heat of the moment exchange, but it got worse. So we can actually
the final
go
points
to.
that I was going to
sorry,
make.
I'm playing this video here. I don't want to do that. Let's go to Nancy Mace's Twitter page. And if you're not following me on Twitter, be sure to do so at Brendan Plank. But she then tried to pick a fight with almost every influencer on Twitter who called her out for her outrageous antics. Brian Tyler Cohen, a big time YouTuber, tweeted, "I'm a grown woman. If you want to take this outside," is the perfect encapsulation of the cognitive dissonance of Nancy Mace. To which Nancy Mace responded, "You have MSNBC in your profile, so I really think you can just go pound sand. Oh, and take it outside. America flag ×3. Nancy Mace also responded to, let's see who else Aaron Rupert, a big time tweeter, Xer, whatever you want to call him, who tweets out videos of and clips of political moments that have happened around the country. And Aaron says, "I'm old enough to remember 2 weeks ago when Nancy Mace was wearing a sling because someone shook her hand. That is a true story. Nancy Mace cried foul. Oh, I've been assaulted on Capitol Hill because a person who was critical of her shook her hand." Right? That's the drama queen who we're dealing with here. And Nancy Mace, she responds, "Aaron, I suffered 2 injuries from an assault by a man at the Capitol. Shut the fuck up and sit back down. You continue to prove how the left have no dignity and no respect for women." Oh, really, Nancy Mace? We ain't the ones trying to strip half of America of their reproductive rights. But go on, Nancy, about how the Democrats, the left, are the problem for women. Max Frost, that representative who made the point of order, he tweeted, "Nancy Mace asked Jasmine Crockett to, quote unquote, go outside. Chair Comer ruled that threatening violence against another member is okay as long as it's in the form of a question." Wild. Nancy Mace says, "Young man, you know that was no threat of violence. But honest question, where were you when I was physically assaulted by a man at the Capitol a few weeks back? Sit back down, take notes." Oh, she's a bully that she's a bully only when she is absolutely protected from the repercussions of her bullying, right? Because Jasmine Crockett would light Nancy Mace the fuck up if they were, in fact, to go outside. And so, of course, Nancy Mace knows this. And so, of course, she says things like this. Of course, she says, "Let's take it outside," knowing that it ain't going outside. And then also, she's picking all these fights with people on Twitter because she's a keyboard warrior, just like a lot of these mega morons. And it's truly just so embarrassing for our country. I mean, Jasmine Crockett hit the nail on the head when she said, "Child, you need to sit down. You need to pay attention. You need to take notes." And Nancy Mace responds by clearly just proving that she is the child that Jasmine Crockett says she is.